Caution: the following ghost story contains graphic and gory elements that may disturb some viewers. The First Uprising of India is one of the bloodiest chapter in the history of the East India Company. It somehow was a perfectly timed disaster. East India Company was flourishing with more trade. Manors and castles were springing up, complete British families had started moving to India. Adventurers and new immigrants similar to those that first stepped into the USA reached the shores of India. The Mughal Empire was one of the richest and most faction-divided empires in the globe. Manor X stood on the outskirts of a sleep hill station of India, its imposing structure casting a long shadow over the surrounding landscape. It had a sinister reputation, rumored to be cursed by the spirits of those who met gruesome fates within its walls. Legend had it that the manor was once home to a deranged doctor, Dr. Edgar Livingston, who conducted horrific experiments on unsuspecting victims. His thirst for power and knowledge led him down a dark path, resulting in unspeakable atrocities. One dark and stormy night, a group of revolutionaries ventured into Manor X, determined to uncover the truth behind its haunted reputation. Armed with muskets, swords, torches and nerves of steel, they entered the decaying halls, unaware of the horrors that awaited them. As the revolutionaries explored the manor, eerie whispers filled the air, carrying tormented cries of the doctor's victims. Shadows danced along the walls, taking on grotesque forms, as if the very essence of evil permeated the air. In the bowels of the manor, they discovered a hidden laboratory, its walls stained with blood and the remnants of failed experiments. The air was heavy with the stench of decay, and the floor was littered with discarded body parts. Suddenly, a chilling laughter echoed through the room, freezing them in their tracks. Drive. Livingston materialized before them with a human liver piece and blood in his mouth, his form a grotesque amalgamation of man and monster. With a maniacal grin, the doctor lunged at the group, his scalpel gleaming in the dim light. The revolutionaries fought desperately to escape his clutches, but one by one, they fell victim to his sadistic experiments. Blood splattered across the walls, screams of agony filled the air, and the manor became a house of horrors. Limbs were severed, organs were harvested, and the once brave heroes were reduced to lifeless, mutilated corpses. One more story. In the heart of the English countryside, there stood a grand manor known as Ravenscroft Manor. With its towering structure and darkened windows, it exuded an aura of mystery and foreboding. Little did the world know of the horrors that lay within its walls. One fateful night, a group of adventurous friends decided to test their courage by spending the night at Ravenscroft Manor. Armed with flashlights and nerves of steel, they entered the eerie abode, unaware of the supernatural presence that awaited them. As they explored the dimly lit hallways, a soft whispering sound began to fill the air. It was a haunting, ethereal voice that seemed to come from all directions at once. The words were indistinguishable, but the message carried an unmistakable sense of urgency and despair. The friends exchanged nervous glances, their hearts pounding in their chests. They pressed on, drawn deeper into the labyrinthine corridors by the mysterious whispers. Each step felt heavier, as if an invisible force was pushing them further into the clutches of the unknown. The whispers grew louder and more frantic, echoing through the mansion's empty rooms. The friends' sense of dread intensified, their every instinct telling them to flee. But their curiosity and their desire to unravel the secrets of Ravenscroft Manor kept them locked in its grip. As they reached the heart of the manor, the whispers reached a crescendo. The walls seemed to vibrate with an unseen energy, and the air grew thick with an oppressive presence. Shadows danced along the walls, elongating and contorting in grotesque shapes. Suddenly, a figure materialized before them, bathed in an eerie glow. It was a ghostly apparition, dressed in tattered garments, its face contorted in anguish. The whispers emanated from its spectral form, a desperate plea for release from the eternal torment that held it captive. The friends stood frozen in fear, their breath caught in their throats. The ghostly figure reached out a translucent hand, its touch sending a chill down their spines. The whispers grew louder, their words now clear: "Beware the curse. Escape while you can." With a final, agonized wail, the ghostly presence dissipated, leaving the friends shaken and trembling. Realizing the danger they were in, they wasted no time in fleeing Ravenscroft Manor, their hearts pounding with a newfound appreciation for the supernatural forces that lurked within. The whispers of the manor still exist. England. In the early 1900s, there was a grand mansion located in the countryside of England, known as G Manor. The sprawling estate had been in the possession of the same noble family for generations, but it was plagued by a chilling presence. The ghostly apparition that haunted G Manor was said to be the spirit of Lady Alana, a former resident of the mansion who met a tragic end. Lady Alana was known for her beauty and charm, but her life took a dark turn when she fell in love with a servant. Their secret romance was discovered by Lady Alana's husband, Lord Will, who was consumed by rage and jealousy. In a fit of anger, he murdered both Lady Alana and her lover, burying their bodies within the walls of the manor. From that day forward, the ghost of Lady Alana wandered the halls of G Manor, seeking justice and eternal rest. Witnesses reported seeing a spectral figure in a flowing white gown, her face etched with sadness and longing. Many visitors to the manor claim to have felt an icy breeze and heard ethereal whispers in Lady Alana's presence. Some even reported seeing objects move on their own, as if manipulated by an unseen force. One particularly eerie encounter occurred when a group of paranormal investigators spent the night at G Manor. As they set up their equipment, they noticed a sudden drop in temperature and heard faint footsteps echoing through the halls. Suddenly, a door swung open with a forceful gust of wind, revealing Lady Alana's ghostly figure standing in the doorway. She appeared as a spectral apparition, draped in a flowing white gown that seemed to float around her ethereal form. Her presence exuded an air of sadness and longing, as if she carried the weight of her tragic fate upon her translucent shoulders. Lady Alana's features were both beautiful and haunting. Her face bore the marks of her untimely demise, with an expression of eternal sadness etched upon it. Her eyes, once filled with life and vitality, now held a distant and mournful gaze, as if trapped between the realms of the living and the dead. As she glided through the halls of G Mansion, her movements were graceful yet eerie, almost as if she were floating on a gentle breeze. Lady Alana's ghostly form radiated a soft, otherworldly glow, casting a pale light in the darkness of the mansion. Her presence was often accompanied by whispers and soft sighs, as if she was desperately trying to communicate her sorrow and seek solace from the living. English Woods. Deep within the heart of the English woods, there existed a place shrouded in darkness and mystery. It was a place where the trees whispered secrets and the shadows danced with malevolence. Few dared to venture into its depths, for it was said to be cursed by an ancient evil. One moonlit night, a group of friends decided to test their bravery and explore the haunted woods. Armed with flashlights and nerves of steel, they entered the eerie realm, unaware of the horrors that awaited them. As they ventured deeper into the woods, an eerie silence engulfed the surroundings. The usual sounds of nature were absent, replaced by an unsettling stillness that sent a shiver down their spines. Unease settled upon them, but curiosity pushed them forward. Suddenly, a chilling breeze rustled through the trees, carrying with it a haunting whisper that seemed to echo from unseen lips. The friends strained their ears, trying to decipher the words, but they were met with an unintelligible murmur, as if the woods themselves were speaking in a long-forgotten language. As they continued their journey, the whispers grew louder, their tone turning from hushed to menacing. Shadows danced and twisted around them, their forms taking on grotesque shapes. The friends' hearts raced, their breaths quickening as a sense of impending doom settled upon them. In the distance, they spotted a dilapidated cabin, standing like a forgotten relic amidst the trees. Its windows were broken, its doors creaked ominously in the wind. Against their better judgment, the friends approached, drawn to the cabin by an unseen force. As they entered the cabin's decaying interior, the whispers reached a fever pitch, filling the air with a cacophony of haunting voices. The walls seemed to close in around them, suffocating their senses. The friends were trapped, entangled in a web of fear and despair. Suddenly, a figure materialized before them, its eyes burning with an otherworldly light. It was a spirit, trapped in the realm between the living and the dead. Its voice, a chilling blend of anguish and rage, pierced through the whispers, demanding release from its tormented existence. The friends trembled, their bodies paralyzed by fear. The spirit's words echoed in their minds, recounting tales of lost souls and unspeakable horrors that lurked within the woods. It warned them to leave, to escape before they too became victims of the curse that plagued the land. With a final, mournful wail, the spirit vanished, leaving the friends to grapple with the terror that had consumed them. They fled the haunted woods, forever scarred by the encounter, their minds haunted by the whispers that had driven them to the brink of madness. To this day, the English woods remain a place of fear and uncertainty, a cautionary tale whispered among those who dare to speak its name. The horrors that lurk within its depths serve as a chilling reminder that some mysteries are best left untouched, for the darkness that resides there can consume even the bravest souls. As the friends escaped the clutches of the haunted woods, their hearts pounded with a mixture of relief and lingering fear. The ghostly whispers continued to echo in their minds, haunting their dreams and reminding them of the darkness they had encountered. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, but the memories of that fateful night in the English woods refused to fade. Each friend carried the weight of their experience, forever changed by the spectral voices that had sent chills down their spines. One by one, the friends began to experience strange occurrences in their everyday lives. Whispers followed them wherever they went, faint echoes of the haunting voices they had heard in the woods. Shadows seemed to move with a life of their own, casting an eerie presence in every corner of their vision. Their once unbreakable bond began to fray as paranoia and fear seeped into their relationships. Sleepless nights and restless dreams plagued them, as the ghostly whispers invaded their every thought. They felt as though an unseen force was slowly driving them to the edge of madness. Desperate for answers, the friends sought out the help of a renowned paranormal investigator. Together, they delved into the history of the haunted woods, unearthing tales of ancient rituals, lost souls, and a vengeful spirit that had been bound to the land for centuries. Armed with this newfound knowledge, they returned to the woods, determined to confront the source of the ghostly whispers. As they ventured deeper into the heart of the haunting, the whispers grew louder, their words becoming clearer, revealing a tragic tale of betrayal and unfinished business. Finally, they reached a clearing, bathed in an ethereal glow. Standing before them was the spirit that had haunted their lives, its form a distorted reflection of sorrow and anguish. It begged for release, in a tortured voice for help.